can be responsible for child support before the child is born. I think it's called prenatal child support, right? Now, the gray area when reading this story is that it may be required, may is the word, be required that they have a DNA test, and you can't get a DNA test in the womb. Now, what some people try to say, what some women try to say when a guy wants a DNA test in the womb is that it may harm their baby, they don't want to give a DNA test. See, I'm cool with this to a certain extent if a DNA test is required. Because then, it's not directly what men are being asked for, is that, okay, why we can't have a DNA test at birth or at, conception. But check out the current news playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. So that's what most men have been asking for. Why can't we have, DNA tests before you sign the birth certificate? And it's quite simple. The court system, the judicial system isn't about who's right and who's wrong. It's not about the child safety. It's not about, who's the better parent. Right? It's about their pockets. Now, one of the brothers on YouTube said that in some states, most states, that the judge get a kickback off child support. They get a kickback. And you seeing a direct correlation in society. You're seeing a lot of young men with the internet, seeing that seeing all the men before them getting taken advantage of, and they saying, I don't want sex anymore. Porn is better. When they get them sex dolls out there, that's better. What else are they saying? They're not approaching women anymore. That's their fault. And you see laws like this. If the DNA test isn't required, then we at work talking about it. Well, if you're not the father, she should have to pay it back. Look here, dude. They not gonna reverse that payment. Some red states like Tennessee require you to reverse the payment, but they not gonna reverse that payment. You're gonna be taking your sweet time getting your money back because the state gotta pay your money back, and it's ridiculous. If a mandatory DNA test come with it, I'm with it. But we can just never get a law. Honestly, we can never just get a law flat out. It always got to come with some type of whatever caveat or whatever you want to call it in there. It has to come with prenatal child support. They just gonna continue to feminize men. They're going to continue to push men to another country. They're going to continue for men to get vasectomies. They're going to continue for men not to engage. Do they not understand the birth rate is in the shitter right now? There's not enough people having babies. Further proof, more 40-year-old women are having babies than teenage women. And women say, people say, that's a good thing. No, bitch, that's not a good thing. Anything 35 and up is a geriatric pregnancy. And most women that wait that late, they chose their career. Okay? They didn't want to be mothers. All of a sudden they want to be mothers now. And that don't make you a fit mother. At 40 years old as a woman, that's old. You're trying to run, and it ain't like with wisdom where, yeah, that's smarter, they're more mature. Did you not hear Ebony K. Williams say that you should be a single mother by choice? That broad is 40-something years old. Hold on, I thought with more age come more maturity. They ain't not going to want to wake up and be mothers. Their career's still going to come before their kids. They haven't even figured out at 40 they need to be under the leadership of a man. They need a man to raise their child. So I just debunked a whole bunch of bullshit just like that. Where'd the sister say, I forget her name, Raza Ali, most women don't mature past the age of 14. She said the sisters don't, mentally. And then when you treat them like a kid, they get mad. But if a mandatory DNA test is required And why not? Well, all they want to do is continue, especially if it doesn't have a mandatory DNA test. All they want to do is continue to crush men. That's it. They want men testosterone low. They want men weak and feminine. That's why they doing what they doing with the food. They want to destroy masculinity, and they doing a good job. Most men, they saying they good on sex, they good on women. I don't want to be on child support. Why do I want to have a child and I have no say-so or control over it? That's like you paying mortgage, but you can't sleep at the house. So my thing, when I read it may be required. What you mean it may be required? What if it ain't required? Then that's fucked up. Y'all ain't gonna pay that man his money back. You're not. So to me, they continue to egg on women's reckless behavior too. Look at the quality of men that you getting out here. The same quality of men that y'all say is feminine, weak, all that. So, if mandatory DNA test out there is required, I think most people would be cool with it. But now all of a sudden, it's, because these women can't take care of themselves, you got to be responsible while the baby's in the womb. It ain't going to make women more responsible. But most brothers like, I ain't got to worry about it. Because if you date sisters, they are responsible for more abortions than anybody. That's why they fought so hard for abortion. They fought so hard. They made you believe Kamala was a black woman. That's why they was going so hard for Kamala, because they wanted to kill more black babies. She a sister then. They don't value life. They're responsible for more deleted babies than anybody. And think about it, most women go again and again and again and again. They're making the same mistakes without consequences. And the government are not putting any laws in there for them making the same mistakes. They're not putting any guidelines in there. It's another reason why the birth rate is so low. I remember I was talking to this one girl, she was like, running her mouth. I had an abortion with a guy. I knew he wasn't fit to be a mother, a dad, or I didn't. They know. That's why so many brothers is just opting out. And it's quite sad too. Because this is a generational curse from black woman to black woman in a lot of situations. Teen pregnancies, or not even say teen pregnancies, but just pregnancies with guys y'all know shouldn't be the father. But I'm proud of men in America, because they getting their passports. They're being more meticulous on how they're vetting women. We're sharing information on what to look out for vetting women, or when you go out the country, how to find somebody from the country. If you want a good black woman, where you find her at, how you tell if she's a good black woman. A lot of guys are just saying they're abstaining. A lot of guys sitting there, a lot of men, they weren't focusing on making money. They not approaching women no more. They not being stepfathers no more. And now it's to the point where now you see it online, women like, why don't guys want to be stepfathers anymore? Why? They want to be football coaches, and why not? No, we good. You can't continue to have your cake and eat it too. And I'll tell y'all about single mothers on the Free Game 89 channel, FR33 Game 89. I'll tell y'all about them. Y'all be wondering why the baby daddy be so crazy, because they still be smashing, bro. The most disingenuous person on this planet is a baby mama, even more so than the thief. It's a baby mama, I'm telling you. They don't want a healthy relationship. They don't care about their kids. If they don't care about their kids, why the fuck do they care about you? It's to the point where most men are just saying they're not even for recreational use. Well, he was abusive, and that's why I left. But he's so abusive, but you still fucking him. Do the math. Keep it moving, Keisha. But we just couldn't get a law where, okay, DNA test should be required. It got to be some type of caveat. Always got to be something in there. That's why I don't trust politicians, lawmakers, none of them jokers. Most of them, especially on the left, is weak. You see a dude cross his leg over his knee, bro, that dude ain't masculine. He ain't got no testosterone left in his body. That's the number one way to know your testosterone low. Is when you see men cross their whole leg over their knee. That is some backdoor here in my Corey Hogan. Man ain't supposed to be putting your whole leg over your leg. There's so many moist ninjas in Hollywood, bro. I see a podcast where a dude is sitting down. It's one thing to prop your ankle up on your knee, alright. But to put your whole leg over your other knee and cross it? Fuck you think you is Brittany Murphy, nigga? Rest in peace, though. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Check out the current news playlist. Hit the link. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Check out the Patreon.